Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of Let Me Just Say This. Now, today I'm really about to put my business out there, but I just have a lot of things to get off my chest because I'm newly single and I'm dating and I'm learning. So I just want to share some of my thoughts, opinions, and experiences with y'all today. So, yeah, let's get into it. So I just want to pop in here really quick to say that this next cut, I had a little bit of issue with the audio. So if you hear some background music, just go with the flow. So I have to start off by running it back to where I was at the beginning of this year. So I mentioned earlier on that I was in a relationship for 4 years. From 19 to 23, I was with this man and I was faithful. I wasn't outside. I was really doing a lot of wife shit that I shouldn't have been doing. Because look at me now, single, not engaged, not married, not nothing. So I come out of that relationship and I do plan on doing like a full, actual video talking about my experience with that. But I really, really rushed into dating. And of course, hindsight is 2020. Then I thought, oh, I can do this now, so I might as well. When the reality was, I shouldn't have been dating so fast. I think I started dating like 2 months after the breakup, maybe like a month after. And I definitely wasn't over my ex. Like, I didn't get over my ex until 6 months down the line. Over that span of time, I had developed a situationship with somebody. And I think that just really enlightened me to the fact that I'm really not ready. I'm not ready to commit. I know there's this thing about women wanting more all the time, but honestly, at this point, I don't want more. You can't be my man, shawty. Like, you can't. I don't want that right now. That's not what I'm searching for right now. I'm trying to learn myself. I'm also trying to heal myself. I'm trying to have a little bit of fun. And I realize that my ideal situation is kind of toxic. But at least I'll be honest. Like, as a newly single person, no, I don't want a man. Like, in all honesty, I would just like someone who's okay with coming over 3 to 4 times a week and dropping the dick off. And occasionally we go out and see a movie and go to dinner. But other than that, you can't stay, can't be my man. And I'm not going to ask any questions. I'm the type of person, I'm not going to ask you any questions. I'm not going to ask you about anybody else in your life unless I suspect that you are in a relationship with someone. Then, in that case, I can't fool with you. However, if we have an understanding and we can keep it there and keep it light, I think that is ideal for me. That is ideal for me. But I'm realizing as I date that is very hard to find. And my mom told me something very real. Just the other day, I was telling her about this is all that I want, but I can't find a man that wants that. Or at least, let me say, a man that I want that wants that. And she basically told me men want that when the woman wants them more. Men want that when they're pursuing women that they know want a relationship. Versus the woman that they know doesn't want a relationship and that they know has options, they don't want to pursue it. That or they want to find a reason to lock her down. Maybe it's an ego thing. I don't know. Early on in my dating time, I was still doing relationship shit. And that really blurred the lines. And I ended up in an entire situationship for maybe 3 or 4 months. I feel really bad about how it ended, but I had to be true to myself and be honest. Jasmine Sullivan said it best. Call me toxic, but I'll always keep it honest. And I had to just tell him straight up, I don't want the same thing that you want. And it hurts, but that's just where I'm at. I'm not ready to commit. One day, yes, I still love love. I haven't given up on love. I still want to settle down and get married and have kids. But for now, I feel like I'm in my prime. For now, I'm just trying to test the waters. I just want to see what it's like. Because I was locked down for so long. I'm learning so much shit, y'all. Not just about these men, but about myself. And I'm enjoying it. It's actually fun. And so while I'm in my whole phase, I'm not fully outside yet. I'm not fully a city girl. The HoePhase is giving very mild, but maybe I'll pick it up. I don't know. But that's really where I am. And I know I'm not the only one that feel like that. I know somebody else relates to that. Not every girl wants to be in a relationship. Not every girl wants to settle down. Especially when you've been hurt. Like, that relationship changed me. That breakup changed me. Now I can kind of figure out how to navigate shit. Now I can learn how to date and how to deal with men. Because before, I was wrapped up in one dude who really wasn't all encompassing, of course. So now I'm learning what I don't like, and I'm learning what I like. And sometimes it's ghetto, and other times it's a ball. I feel like this is a perfect segue into the HoePhase. So I actually looked up the definition on Urban Dictionary just to make sure I'm getting it right. And the gist of it is that the HoePhase is a learning process. A lot of people judge the HoePhase because it's this connotation, like, especially for women. Men get to have their HoePhase. Men get to whore around and fuck who they want and do what they want, not sparing anyone's feelings. But when women do it, it's a HoePhase. When women do it, then we have no self-respect. But the reality is, for both sides of it, it's about having fun and experiencing people. I don't think that it's wrong to want to do that. And I'm at the point where I want to do that. Because like I said, I was locked down. So now I'm just trying to see what's out there. I'm trying to catch every fish. Every fish, just so I can inspect it and be like, no, this one has scales I don't really like. Put that one back. Or, this one's the right size. I'll keep that. Like, that's how I feel about it. And I'm 23, so I guess technically this is the right time for my HoePhase. But a lot of people have their HoePhase early. I would like to put in perspective that I wasn't fucking in high school. I wasn't doing any of that in high school. I actually had a reputation of being a prude. I remember one guy told me that I would be a virgin until I was 30. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm going to be a virgin because I got standards. Even now, I think in the HoePhase, it's possible to have standards. I'm not just giving this pimping away to anybody. Like, no. I can be selective with who I want to have my HoePhase with, and it could still be considered a HoePhase. A HoePhase doesn't have to be this crazy act of desperation and thirstiness. And not to say that you're thirsty because you have a bunch of sexual partners in a short span or whatever, but just to say that I personally am not that girl. Deep down, I'm a relationship girl, and I respect myself a lot. I respect my body a lot. So for me, if I'm gonna let anybody in it, trust and believe it's gonna be someone who I feel is worthy. And that's how my HoePhase is going, honestly. But it's been nice. It was nice trying out somebody new. Very vulgar, I know. But like I said, this podcast ain't for your children, especially this episode. I'm really about to get into some things. So while I am not dating with intentions, and I'm honest and upfront about that, I am not dating for a relationship. I am dating for vibes. I am dating for a good time. Okay? I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I do have an ideal guy that I wish existed. And honestly, it's a good thing that he don't, because if he did, this HoePhase would get cut short. Okay? It wouldn't be hot girl summer. It would 100% be with my man winter if this ideal guy existed. So everybody has their type physically. I'm not going to detail my type. But I will say some qualities in dating a man that I look for. I had a rant about this the other night after I left the club, because I feel like nowadays men don't have any game. They don't have game. It's all about what's your Instagram, what's your social media, or they send their friend to come talk to you, especially when they're older. I cut off my dating cap at 28, but there was a guy who's 30 that was pursuing me, But he wasn't applying the right amount of pressure, and he was acting very scary. Like, he was acting very, like, nervous to plan a date or talk to me. And I'm like, you really too old for this. At this big age, I need you to, say it with your chest. Women like that. At least I do. I look for a man who's going to be like, hey, I'm trying to take you out. When are you free? That's attractive. It is intriguing. Even from men that initially I may not even find attractive. That confidence and that boldness is attractive to me. I don't want to deal with anyone who's afraid to make plans or apply pressure. The second thing with my ideal guy is honesty. Be honest. Like, and I'm not asking to know all your business, but just keep it real with me, because you can't place somebody that has as much attention to detail as I do. Like, you can't. I'm going to put two and two together, homie. So just be real with me. I have more respect for someone who's honest about where they are, what they want, what their intentions are, than somebody who wants to try to finesse me. Because at that point, then I feel disrespected, and I'm going to start disrespecting you. And that's the thing I think men don't like nowadays. Women are playing that game with dating. Women aren't just getting disrespected and taking it anymore. Women are doing the disrespecting. And I'm not saying that's always right, but I'm just saying the tables have turned. I think essentially my ideal guy has confidence and is about that action. I like actions. I don't like to text all day. I don't want to see you liking my pictures on Instagram or hearting my story or being the first to watch my story. Trust and believe I notice it. And not putting any action behind it. Because clearly you're interested. So either slide in the DMs and make some plans to get to know me, or leave me alone. So I had met this guy on a dating app. Very attractive guy. The code name for him was IG Bay, because he had a nice fitness Instagram. And I'm a sucker for muscles. I love muscles. So even if the face card sometimes ain't hitting all the way, if the body yada yada is bodying, I'm here for it. So we talked a bit on the app, but he was kind of dry. He didn't message me back. And at the time, I was giving like a 24-hour rule. Like, if a man doesn't message me back in 24 hours, I am match. Say what you want about that. But that was just my way of doing it. I remember him telling me where he worked in Atlanta. I was going to spend a weekend with my best friend in Atlanta in the same area. So I was like, let me go to his Instagram and drop a hint. So I liked his pictures. I commented some hard eyes. He followed me. And then he slid into the DMs. And I was like, okay, so you caught my drift. So we talked. And he would be the first to watch my story. And we ended up meeting, actually, that weekend at his job. Very attractive guy. I was very interested in seeing him again. And he was adamant about wanting to see me again. But he never made plans to see me again. And so one day I just asked him, I said, why didn't you pursue it? And he said, and I quote, because I can tell you have fans. Sir, of course I have fans. Yes, I'm young and in my prime. I'm fine as hell. And I'm not conceited or nothing, but I'm just saying, I hate the guys that will do everything except for make the plans because they think you have hoes, or because they think that since you're so attractive, you must have a lot of bodies, or since you're so attractive, there must be a lot of competition. Of course. Why is it that some men expect that attractive women who are single won't have people pursuing them? But those same men are single and have women pursuing them and are pursuing women. And of course, obviously, I'm speaking from a heterosexual perspective because that's the perspective that I know. But it just feels like these guys want women who, like it's so weird. They want an attractive woman, but they don't want nobody else to want her. Or they don't want to have to put any work to compete. They don't want to have the number one spot on the roster. They don't want to put in the work. I'm like, what do you expect from me? And I think to some degree he wanted me to chase him. And I'm like, I'm not a chaser. I'm too fine for that shit. You think I have to chase you? That is what threw me off. So after that point, like I cut him off. I was like, you know what? He's done. You're done. because clearly you can't handle me. And that's another issue that I've been facing with dating is I feel like I'm young, but I have my shit together. I'm young, but I have made a life for myself. A lot of the guys my age don't have it together like that. Even some of the older guys don't have it together like that. And it's frustrating because the men my age I can give a pass to if they're working to achieve those accomplishments. But the men older than me, no, I can't give you a pass. Like, you can't still be living with your mother. I need somewhere to pull up to. I can't come to your mama house. If you're close to 30, can't do it. If you're older than 30, absolutely can't do it. If you don't have a stable job at that age, ideally I want someone with a 401k. But I understand that men my age don't typically have that. If the older guy doesn't, I knock him more. I knock the older men more, which is why I was like, okay, I'm going to cut off the older men because a lot of the times they don't have their shit together the way they should. And then on top of that, if they do, they're looking for a wife. And like I said earlier, I can't be a wife. And I can't be them kids' mama or stepmama. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Maybe I'm just too picky. Maybe I'm too picky. Maybe I just want... Maybe the man that... My ideal guy to just date. I'm not even talking about being in a relationship. Maybe he doesn't exist. I mean, that's unfortunate if he doesn't. All I can do is wish on a star. But maybe he don't exist. Maybe that's just something I need to come to terms with. Like, I can't go build a man. Wouldn't it be so, oh my God, wouldn't it be amazing if I could just build somebody? I mean, it wouldn't be authentic. It's kind of disingenuous. But for what I need, I'll take him up on that offer. So I'm listening to all this back, like, as I record, right? And I just think to myself, like, damn, I just sound so heartless. Let me just say this. I am not heartless. I'm a lover. Like I said, I love love. But dating is a game. And I'm learning how to play it. I feel like if you come into dating, like, naive or... If you are easy to manipulate in dating, you will get played. With finesse, they will play you if you are naive in dating and finesse you. And I'm not getting finesse out of no coochie. I'm not getting finesse out of no peace. I'm not getting finesse out of no money. Like, so while I know everything sounds a little harsh, my eyes are open. But my mind is open too. And maybe one day my heart will be open again. And at that point, then I know, okay, I'm dating for long term. Okay, I'm dating with intention. When I was in a relationship, it was 100% with intention, which is what drove me, honestly. Like, it's not the primary factor, but a big reason of why I stayed for so long. Because in my mind, we were going to get married. So I'm like, think about that. The intentions behind shit play such an important role in how you handle things, how far you stick things out. And I know my intention now, which is, like I said, to have fun and explore me and explore people. That's my intentions for now. Eventually, though, I would love to fall in love. I want to fall in love again when I'm ready. So that kind of takes me into the next thing, which is I want to talk about healing while dating. So like I said earlier, I jumped into dating way too soon. Wasn't ready because I wasn't healed. I was still hurt. I held out hope still that he and I could figure it out. So while I did end up in a situationship and that person still means a lot to me, realistically, if I'm being honest with myself, it was very much so a placeholder. so that I couldn't focus on how I truly felt about getting out of that relationship. And it's a shitty thing to hear. Like, it's a shitty thing to say. I feel horrible about that. But it's real. How many people get out of relationships and hop right into another one because they don't want to be alone, because they don't want to deal with the trauma of their past relationship? I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to have to be lonely and miss my ex. That's lame as fuck. I wanted to be outside. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to experience. But it put me in a pickle. Like, it put me in a bind. And it was a very tough situation. And I thought when he and I were dating, I could heal. Because I feel like we brought a lot of growth out of each other. But the reality is that I couldn't heal yet. And it kind of hit the fan, which I'll talk about in another episode. But it kind of hit the fan in June. And that's when I got my closure. Just imagine that. I didn't get closure till 6 months later. They say it takes years to get over a breakup sometimes. I didn't get closure till 6 months later, and during that time I was dating. So I like to think that I grew, but heal, I couldn't. I'm still not healed. Like, I'm still learning how to heal myself. So that when I'm ready to open my heart up, or when the right man comes along, I'll be prepared. I want to be prepared. It kind of is an inner struggle of me thinking, maybe I should just be single, like for real. No dating, celibacy, all that. And just focus on me. And I'm certain that'll be a great thing for me, but it's also not what I want to do. Like I said, I want to have my HoePhase. Maybe after the HoePhase, I'll have my celibacy phase and not date anyone and really focus on myself. But I'm like, how do you know? Like, how do you even know that you're healing? How do you even know? How do you know what you need to heal? Really, what I need to do is get back into therapy. And this would be a perfect time for a sponsor. Y'all, tell BetterHelp to come on and sponsor me, because I can definitely advocate for therapy. I think eventually I will get back into it, but I think for now I'm handling things okay on my own. But I digress. The point is, some people can heal while dating, but I think it requires that person that you're healing with to be very self-aware and understanding. You and that person have to be on the same page. And there has to be a level of like respect outside of the romance, so that they see you as like a human, as like a person, and they understand why you're doing the things that you're doing, because healing is a process and relapses happen. And when you're so wrapped up in the infatuation of it all, that can be very painful. I think that's why so many people say nowadays, don't come to me unless you're healed already. Because dealing with people who have gone through a lot of trauma and haven't dealt with the trauma, it makes it much more difficult to have a healthy relationship. And I'm speaking for myself. In my last relationship, I'm speaking for myself in the situationship where I'm the one who has to deal with the trauma. So I'm still on that journey. I'm still figuring that part of it out, which is why I'm so adamant about not being in a relationship right now. Because I know for a fact I can't love someone the way that they deserve right now. I can't give to someone the way that they would deserve. I really hope that one day I'll get there. I know that one day I'll get there. But for now, I'm still figuring it out. I feel like I just put myself out there. But it is what it is. I told you this podcast is real. Like, this is real life. I'm really going through this shit. I am genuinely having these experiences. I have some stories, but I think I'm going to save those for another episode. As time goes on and I mature and I come back to being the relationship Naya that I used to be, I'll have a lot more clarity because of this time in my life, which I need. I need this time to figure myself out. These are my selfish years. The years when I really should have been selfish, I was being selfless. Now, I can think of myself, and it's liberating in more ways than one. So, soon enough, I'll really get vulnerable with y'all and tell you what happened with my ex and why I'm here. But you know now where I'm at with dating. And I have a lot of opinions on dating. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Eventually, there will be a podcast episode with my friends and we can chop it up and talk about all of that shit. But for now, you get me. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thanks again for all of the support. Thank you for understanding, because I know this had to have resonated with somebody. So this one's for you. This episode is for you. To stay up to date on the podcast and support, you can follow me at letmejustsaythis_pod on Instagram. That's letmejustsaythis_pod on Instagram. Until next time.